The Father can interject himself at any time.
You mean physically? Does he come down in the form of what?
He could come down if he wanted to.
Right. But he
We
chose
would
not.
probably, But because most of us don't have the body to
Yeah,
withstand.
yeah. But he sent his son, right?
presence. Yes.
And this son is part of the Godhead, part of the divine nature.
Well, it's part of the eternal progression of our Father.
I'm not talking about the progression. I'm talking about whether the son is divine.
Yes.
Like the Father is divine.
The Son is divine, like the Father is divine.
And the
but more in a
subordinate sense?
subordinate sense.
Okay, so
Because they have the same purpose.
Right.
okay, so you're a
So when
And also, like it mentions that all that the Father has,
The Son has.
The Son has.
Yeah,
And
but
it
before-
doesn't- and it
before we
doesn't
go to the
mean-
scripture-
it doesn't mean Jesus is greater than Father in heaven. That doesn't mean it.
but he's subordinate, so therefore lesser than the Father, right?
And now has become like God, but still pray to the Father.
Okay.
Receives Jesus as just the Savior.
I'm not so much talking about, because I'm trying to get my head around your concept. I'm not talking about what happens to Jesus after he leaves the earth and becomes one once again with the Father. Whilst Jesus was on the earth, was he divine like the Father is divine?
Yes, halfway.
So, do you believe that God is a being that is divine in his nature from beginning to end, for eternity? Can he lose his divinity and become non-divine? No.
There's not.
No. When the Son was sent by the Father, you're claiming that when I asked you the question, was he divine like the Father was divine? You said yes and no. Do you believe that God can be both divine and not divine, such that it justifies the answer yes and no? There's never even a millisecond where he's not divine. Do you believe that?
At least in our time frame, as we know time, he you know.
I appreciate that.
Always is and
But
was.
remember, when the Son came down, he was in our time frame
Right.
for 33 years.
When I say completely divine, because I think that there's two things going on here. There's the Spirit. I think his Spirit was divine. His body was temporal.
And where was the Spirit? Where was the Spirit? Was it in the body itself, contained alongside the human nature?
The divine nature was with the Father. The fact that he was half the Father. He had half the Father's attributes in a growing, almost like embryonic way.
So if he had half,
Day by day,
he was growing.
he was moving in the direction of what his purpose and plan was.
But the point here I'm trying to understand is, you have the Son who was sent down. He's divine. So essentially, he is God. Because you wouldn't say he's 50% divine, right? Because then that takes me back to the original point I was making, which was, can God be not fully divine for even a millisecond and still be God?